Huntsville Hospital's vaccine supply has been cut to 1,000 doses per week. That is half of the weekly doses they were getting before. If you already have an appointment, you're fine, but new appointments won't begin for another month. Meanwhile, as the rollout continues, a pretty consistent trend is starting to show. Less people of color are receiving the vaccine compared to white people. Our Sydney Stallworth explains that it's happening right here in the Valley, but state officials say there is more to the data than meets the eye.
Alabama's data is showing some major racial disparities in the vaccine rollout. Black people make up about 1/4 of the state's population, yet just over 10% of vaccinations so far. And believe it or not, this is actually above the national average.
But it's going to be an ongoing challenge to build vaccine confidence in all communities, but specifically in communities of color. And I think communities of color have borne a disproportionately high burden of disease.
That was Dr. Karen Landers with the Alabama Department of Public Health. The department says out of the over 717,000 doses that have been administered, 55% of the doses were given to white people. 11.9% were given to people who identify as African American, 0.2% to Hispanic or Latino ethnic groups, and 1.1% were given to those of Asian heritage. But it's important to note that over 30% of doses were given to people of unknown or unreported racial groups.
I think there's a challenge with the data in that the data is incomplete.
Huntsville Hospital is seeing a similar trend.
There's not as many people of color coming to get the vaccine as their counterparts. We think there's several reasons to that. Healthcare disparities argument that's out there, which is a true statement. There's the Tuskegee experiment that ended in 1972. That's on the back of people's minds.
ADPH says they have things in the works to help statewide.
We actually do have a grant program that we are receiving applications until the end of this month that will be for further outreach in minority communities.
Huntsville Hospital hopes to do the same in the next few months.
And we already have plans in place to go out to those communities to make sure this is easily available to them.
Putting the Valley first, Sydney Stallworth, WZDX News.